Yeah.
And it's going to be the biggest disaster movie on record, going for $200 million. There's plenty of starving people in the world, but we can spend $200 million on this film.
Oh, of course, no problem.
And what this film is going to perpetrate, and everyone on the bloody planet is going to know about 2012 for being a disaster. So if what I'm saying is this idea of a mind before matter situation, if the general population are all believing that 2012 is going to come around and it's going to be a disaster, our consciousness could end up manifesting that for us. And the problem we've got is obviously that the people in power have the technological, the technology to survive such a thing, and the general population don't. It's all about the manifestation of a disaster that they're trying to swing their way by putting out this information to the public. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Of course. One quick question there is, if they're at the same time are trying to put, Prince William up as the new Messiah, if you will.
Yeah.
Are they at the same time also trying to destroy everything that they are building up here then around 2012?
Well, the interpretation I've got is that in between this 2008 and 2012, because obviously the two logos contain the word Zion, there's going to be a lot of things happen in between those 4 years. We're not just going to end up with one event. It's going to be a sequence of events continually.
Yeah.
And I believe for anyone to be implemented as king of the world, which I think they're aiming for, you're going to have to touch people, and those people are going to they're going to have to have been stretched. Do you know what I mean? They're going to have to be on an emotional knife edge to believe everything that they're seeing.
Yeah.
That's all I can say, is that I do believe that in the run-up, like for instance when you got Prince Charles beaming himself into the EU via holographic technology,
yeah, there you go.
and stating stuff along the lines of that he knows for a fact that in 18 months' time we're going to have a sequence of mega disasters all around the world. How does that man know that is going to happen?
Did he say that?
Yeah, he did say it. He said it about 2 weeks ago.
Really? No.
Yeah, do a search for Prince Charles, natural disasters, 18 months, and you'll probably find it straight away.
Okay, I will do that. That's very interesting. Okay.
But how does this man know that? Do you know what I mean? It's scary.
Well, he's at the potentially at the top of the pyramid. Who knows?
He's Osiris, isn't he?
Well, exactly. There you go. Exactly, he is. No, I mean this is. There's so many people also that have been looking at Prince William and that come from this from a different angle and so forth. And I mean I definitely see that there's something there. I mean there's incredible stuff going on the symbolical level, and yet I always try to, or rather I kind of move back towards the other perspective of okay, is this something? Is there an archetypal image within civilization of man that right now always kind of strive for the Trinity, and whatever people that are in a position to represent this Trinity are going to be put forth as such, and those who are smart enough to pick up on this can see it? Or is this a totally manipulated thing from day one, going in, this is what we're going to do and this is where everything leads? What do you think about that?
As far as I'm concerned, we never really chose our royal family. So as far as like people pushing these forwards as these archetypes, I don't see that, because they seem to have claimed this land without any real justification.
Yeah, of course.
So I perceive this as something that's being hijacked.
You know what?
I mean, obviously, all of this could be at the very least just my creative brain coming up with a brilliant story.
I think, I mean, I agree with you on one level. I always keep the other door open, but that doesn't mean that I reject either one of the theories. I'm totally for with what you're saying here. I mean, it's I totally agree. It's I mean, it's incredible when you think about it. And you know what? I want to do like this. I want to give you a proposition here, so to speak. I want to have you back on the program, and because we actually have gone through basically 2 hours now, I think that this is a good amount of information for this time. So what do you say, Rik? Are we up for a part 2 here in a while?
Yeah, that's fine. No worries. I'm up for that.
Okay, great. Because there's so much more to talk about. But okay, let's begin to round things up here, because this has been very interesting, and I think that what you managed to do here also in a way is to kind of take a lot of the material that is out there. You know, there's basically, this is the grand, you know, idea of what is happening in, you know, within one perspective. If you collectively bring in a lot of different research, I don't know how you have come up with a lot of these answers, but I'm certainly familiar with a lot of the concept that you present, and this, I would reckon at least, are building upon other people's research, like, you know, everyone from Jordan Maxwell to, you know, as you said, Manly P. Hall, to Graham Hancock, to Matthew Deleuze, to, you know, there's tons of people out there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know the first name that he presented, but Graham Hancock, Matthew Deleuze, obviously Ian Crane, and just, general reading, Daniel Pinchbeck and stuff.
Of course,
but
I mean,
it's a culmination of everything, isn't it? It's the way we're all working, we're building up on each other.
Exactly, that's right. It's a convergence of information, and I must mention, the reason I mentioned Jordan Maxwell, the name that you didn't recognize, is that a lot of his research is featured in Zeitgeist, and unfortunately they didn't even mention his name once in that film. I mean,
really?
No, they've had over 2 million viewers. I mean, so probably more so far. And if they just even would pop out his name there, I would be so much more happier. It's a personal hero of mine, and you know, research Jordan. Write up the name Jordan Maxwell and take a look at some of the videos that you're going to find on Video Google and stuff like that, because it's brilliant research there, you know. So. We will talk more soon, and we'll stay with me here, Rik, and we'll talk more off air, okay?
Okay, cool, brilliant.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Welcome to the next stage in our journey to the Olympic and the Paralympic Games in London in 2012. And I will never tire of saying that. The Olympic spirit is about finding the best in ourselves. London 2012 will be that and more.